Okay, so I have another really boring example, but I'm going to try to make a point here, and that's why I'm making the example really boring, because I just want the math to be the main focus. So we have a 10 Newton force applied to a wonderful tan box here. This box moves 0.5 meters. How much work was done? By now, you should hopefully have memorized our work equation, which is W equals force times the change in position. And so this equation should be really easy to solve right now. So I want you to go ahead and plug in our force that we know and our change in position that we know and figure out how much work was done. So you should have found that the work equals 10 newtons times 0.5 meters. So I'll go ahead and write that here. And if you punch that into your calculator, you would get 5 Newton meters. Okay, super exciting. 5 Newton meters. We'll talk more about what a Newton meter is later, but this is the gist of what I wanted to get from this situation here. So we're going to compare that to my next example here, where I have a box that is already moving. When I have a 5 Newton force that's going to push against it to slow it down. When the box stops, the force stops. Okay, so basically we could just imagine the box is sliding along, I start pushing backwards on it, and then when it stops, we stop. We don't push it back the other way. Now I want to know how much work did that force do? And again, this is really pretty easy. Oh, let me clear my, there we go. Okay, so again, we use our work equation. The only difference here is that notice now my force is pointing down, and the distance that we moved is up. And so that means that delta x and our force, so let me finish my equation, force and delta x are now pointing in opposite directions. And whenever you have things that are opposites, hopefully your math teacher told you, but if not, I'm telling you right now, opposites mean negative, where negative means opposite, okay? So one of these is going to be negative. It doesn't end up mattering which one. So let's just say the work is 5 newtons, and we're going to say that's negative because this is pointing against the direction that the box is moving. So that is negative 5 newtons, and our position change was 0.75 meters. Well, that's a pretty easy question, so we plug that into our calculator and we get negative 3.75 Newton meters. Okay, so the point that I'm trying to highlight here is that there's a negative sign here, and that means that the work was in the opposite direction of, the force was in the opposite direction of the change in position. And so this will come back to be important a little bit later on. So I just wanted to highlight that for right now. We'll come back and revisit it later.